Well, hang on. Is it?
I told you I didn't know how to start the podcast.
I know, but I'm going to have to go and do the thing where I got my phone again.
Why?
Because I don't want to leave it there filming for a half hour.
Okay, so what are we doing?
Well, I'm going to go and get my phone.
Okay.
But then that either leaves dead air.
Okay.
Or you trying to pretend I'm not going to get my phone.
Okay. Eric's going to get his phone.
I'm going to go get my phone.
I'm going to keep talking. Okay. Welcome to the podcast again.
This is the start.
We promised you every single week we're going to be putting out a podcast, and we don't fall back on our promises.
It's fall now.
We
That's
don't.
Funny.
Hey, pun intended.
I'm not okay with that.
We don't.
We're already IKEA people.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started. Although I do still want to get frames for the side. Like, I feel my interior design spirit animal coming out. I have not changed.
Not in a bad way. Change is good, but you didn't ever watch like home organization videos on Netflix and then you binged the Fix It people or whatever they're called.
The home edit.
There you go.
But like I'm
not being judgmental.
But I never watched them because they didn't exist before that Netflix show. But also, I'm all for people who can make my life better, and having my stuff organized, especially like I told you guys last week, my mom keeps bringing a bunch of my shit and I didn't even know I had. And so that has been traumatic, okay? And I'm just trying to not have that mess ever again. So if I can not have a pile of bills and watch a show that shows me a really great solution to organizing a pile of bills that I have to keep for 5 years because in case I get audited for taxes, then I'm going to be engaged in that.
I didn't mean to trigger you. I'm just saying it's evolution. It's not change.
Eric goes through his whole Apple Music library and sorts his songs by alphabetical order.
You've got it wrong. They automatically sort by alphabetical order. I'm going through them in alphabetical order because I realized at some point I've got 50,000 songs. I got to stop hoarding them and actually enjoy the music. So I can build playlists of these are all the songs that you can listen to when you want to chill or whatnot. But it's all my music, not random crap that iTunes is telling me.
Yeah.
And you like the playlist.
I love the playlist. The dinner music playlist, top notch. The
like
ballads playlist,
dinner music is
amazing.
But it's like stuff you'd listen to while you eat dinner.
But like it's so good. Like when I listen to these songs,
I'm taking it.
When I listen to these songs, I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what I would think. Like Christmas time, people are just trickling in. We're still doing a little bit of the cooking while they're trickling in. Everyone's getting acquainted on the couch. Like
Waterloo by ABBA kicking off in the background.
Exactly. And every time I play that playlist, you know if I'm going on shuffle mode or in order. You're like...
Because ABBA followed by AC/DC
followed by Adele.
You gotta shuffle these things.
Anyways, okay. First, I want to talk about when we first moved into this apartment, which we didn't get to last week, but I want to talk about it this week. When we first moved into this apartment, about like a week or a week and a half in, like we said, we basically live in the Times Square of Toronto. So outside our floor-to-ceiling windows, there's billboards. And when we moved in, was it the time that we were waiting for the Jock Mock? I don't even remember, but the time that we had to wait till midnight for the page to refresh. Yeah, the Popeyes thing. So across the street from us, in our direct eye line, because we are on a high floor, there's this Popeyes ad that comes up around 10 p.m. or so.
I think it was exactly midnight.
It was midnight, not 10:30?
Well, I just remember because we had watched the same video over and over
right
again, and then this big orange glow.
Yeah.
It was like, it was a moment.
Yeah.
So I look out the window. What's that big orange glow?
Yeah. So Eric looks out the window. He's like, oh my God, it's a countdown and it's not changing. Like Popeyes, it was a Popeyes ad.
Yeah,
Popeyes has bought the next 7 hours of this billboard and it's just a countdown. And you're like, what the hell are they counting down to? On the opposite side of this countdown billboard, another Popeyes ad is there and it said, y'all hungry? ? And there was this big fat chicken sandwich underneath it. So you're like, okay, we don't eat at Popeyes, although our first kiss we had Popeyes.
That's a really convoluted way of explaining it. Like,
I know.
we had it that
Anyways,
night.
okay, we didn't
Like
really.
we're
We don't.
the
We
seats at Popeyes.
no. We got Popeyes. We went back and we watched a documentary, which was really good. But anyways, so we've had Popeyes that time, and sometimes when we're feeling nostalgic about the first time we kissed, we get Popeyes.
That's not a thing.
It was a thing though. You text me one time and you're like, "I'm getting Popeyes." And I'm like, oh my god, that's what we got when we had our first kid.
That's why, because you have these little attachments to things. So Popeyes always became that thing. It's like, should we get Popeyes? Like,
I'm gonna have an attachment to the Dawn Wall.
oh, the movie?
Yeah. Anyways, okay. So that was we don't really eat Popeyes at all, ever. However, so we didn't know that this chicken sandwich like didn't already exist for Popeyes. So we're like, what is this counting down to? No, we didn't know that it didn't already exist.
Too many double negatives. Keep going.
I'm
confused.
You and I had no idea that the chicken sandwich that was across from the countdown,
had no idea,
wasn't already on the menu.
That it wasn't already.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't, but we didn't know that it wasn't. Because we don't go to Popeyes. Do you see where I'm going?
Let's just keep on tracking.
Okay, you're the only one that's not paying attention here. Anyways.
Text it if you're confused.
No, across the street from the across the billboard from the countdown, there was another Popeyes billboard, and it had a chicken sandwich. Because I don't go to Popeyes a lot, I had no idea that this chicken sandwich was new. I didn't know that it was already on the menu.
The one that was up.
Yes.
While the countdown.
Yes, you're here.
All
Congrats.
the best. Okay.
We didn't know that it already didn't exist. So anyways, shut up. So this countdown is going and we're like, ooh, what is the countdown for? What's going to happen? So we wake up the next morning and there's like an hour or two left on this countdown. And Eric's in a meeting, so he can't check the countdown. But
I'm like, go look.
He's like, go look at the countdown. It's about to finish. And I'm like, okay. So there's a minute left on this countdown and I'm filming and I'm like, 10, 9, like it's New Year's Eve. It feels like it's New Year's Eve. And I'm looking across at this billboard and I'm like, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it shows the same picture of the chicken sandwich that has been across the countdown billboard for the last 8 hours. Like the same image pops up on this countdown screen with text above it that's like, oh, we heard you've been asking for this. We can't wait. This is going to be awesome. The new Popeyes spicy chicken sandwich is here.
Called the new chicken sandwich.
Yeah. And I was like so disappointed. Now, Popeyes did not...
By the campaign.
I was disappointed by the campaign. I was like, oh, that sucks. I was really wanting to see like a secret location or somebody coming to town or something like that. But it was just the chicken sandwich that had already been there the entire time across the street. So I'm super disappointed. I'm like, that ad was anticlimactic. It sucked. Yet I still shared it on social media because I feel like if I share a countdown with my audience and then I don't follow that countdown up, that's kind of a disservice to them. But also, I didn't want them to feel as shitty as I did, but I shared it anyways. So I'm disappointed by this anticlimactic ad. However, Popeyes did not only buy a countdown for 7 hours and took up all of the billboards that we could see, they also bought the next 24 hours to keep that same chicken sandwich across the street from us.
500 feet tall.
500 feet tall, sandwich. Juicy ass chicken sandwich staring us right in the face. Every time we cook, every time we go sit and watch Netflix, it is in our face. It's glowing orange into our apartment. Like, anyways.
So we ate the sandwich.
No, don't. I was going to say, there's also this other billboard before Popeyes like took over all the billboards. There's this billboard around the same area that was showing a McDonald's spicy chicken sandwich. There were 3 McDonald's spicy chicken sandwiches, but the only thing that McDonald's did different was they shared that billboard with like 5 other ads. So it would cycle through 5 ads. So like basically McDonald's had 1/5 of your attention, while Popeyes had 100% of your attention.
Played because I told myself I was gonna get a McDonald's chicken sandwich,
spicy chicken sandwich.
And I didn't.
So it's okay. Popeyes played me too. So anyways, so we go out we have to go confirm our address at a
The
post
bank.
office for a new bank account. And
Which I swear to God was another story, but
and on our way back or something, or on our way there, I don't remember what it was. We go past a Popeyes and we're like, hey, you want to try that chicken sandwich on the billboard? And we're like, yeah. So we get the chicken sandwich, we come back and eat it. And even though the ad sucked ass, the chicken sandwich was so good, so thick, so juicy.
it had a pickle.
Just a pickle was amazing with
executed pickle.
oh, it was so good. The sandwich was so good. So I guess the ad did work.
Yeah.
Would it have worked on somebody that was just walking by? Probably not. But for the residents that face this damn billboard for that 24 hours.
I think the difference is the McDonald's ad had people eating the food.
True.
And the Popeyes ad was just the sandwich.
That's true,
and
too.
it's a giant screen.
Yeah,
so if
I know.
you put that sandwich on a giant screen,
Yeah.
it's staring, like it's way up in the air, staring down at you like the Almighty.
And you know what else? Is that McDonald's had it animated. They had an animated ad. While Popeyes eventually had an animated ad with text scrolling off of the top, the burger was just stuck there. Like it was just a shot of a burger.
So the burger spoke
didn't
for itself,
move.
and they didn't oversell it.
No.
Because every time McDonald's whole campaign was like, oh, you're going to have spice face. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you're trying too hard.
Spice face, and then would have all this text graphic
sandwich
animation, like small sandwich energy. McDonald's has small sandwich energy.
Yeah.
Popeyes has tick boy energy. Okay. Anyways, wow, an 11-minute story on how we got duped by an ad that did its job.
You can send the free chicken coupons to Evie's DM. Happy to accept.
So, okay, let's move on
Are
to...
you just signaling my attention there?
No.
Are you waving your hand like, okay, we're going to move on to the next thing, Eric?
No, but we are.
Okay.
And I want you to do the talking because I did the whole Popeyes talking.
You're passionate.
I was so passionate about this story.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I want you to tell the story. Okay, when we were in quarantine,
Mm-hmm.
Eric decided to take on this project of... So, Eric...
Where
You're
is this going?
You're smart because I wish I did this.
For the love of
But
God.
you transcoded all your VHS
okay,
tapes
yeah.
into DVDs so that you can then put those DVDs onto your computer and have them as digital files whenever you want to access old VHS tapes.
Okay.
What did you find on a VHS tape that...
Is this the wedding?
Yes. Please tell this story.
So the goal wasn't to transfer them to the computer. The goal was to have them on DVD because back then DVD was the business and now it's irrelevant.
Right.
So it's still good, but you could probably get things to transfer the VHS. But I just like them on my phone.
Yeah.
I don't have to go and find a VHS player that I don't have.
True, but the only thing is, the catch here is that when you put the VHS onto DVD, it does it in real time. So if it's a 10-hour
Well, the machine
VHS
I
thing,
had did
you're
that.
watching
Yeah.
the 10 hours.
But that was
in
good
real
because
time.
I was able to rewatch things like you never watched the
Yeah.
old stuff. You never. Anyways,
Yeah.
so I found something I'd never seen before, and it was my aunt's wedding. So my dad's sister.
Yeah.
And my dad had brought the family VHS record VCR. No, VCR is the machine. This is so dated. VHS recorder. So you put
Okay.
the little tape in
Yeah.
there, and it's
Tape
got the
recorder.
big box,
Yeah.
and like Dad at Disneyland.
Yeah.
He's filming.
Dad
so it's
at
not
Disneyland.
subtle. Like at least now it's just a wee phone.
Right.
Back then it's this giant machine.
Yeah.
That you have to hold up to your face, and
Yeah.
it's not sly at all. So my dad's pretty reserved, and he's got this
So reserved.
big ass machine. He's filming people going down the aisles. I've since asked my aunt, and he was not asked to do this.
Yeah.
She's never seen the footage. So he's taken it upon himself 20 years ago to just be ad hoc filming the wedding.
So no one knew he was doing this.
No.
He just did it, and then he never showed anyone the
He's
footage.
chirping people coming down the aisle, like smile like you're enjoying yourself.
That's such a dad thing to say.
Not my dad, though. Like he doesn't want
I
to be the
feel like
center of
your
attention.
yeah, but your dad is still a dad joke guy. He still makes dad jokes. Those are such dad jokes.
Maybe that part. But then I continue clipping these things through to the computer, and all of a sudden we're no longer in the seats.
Yeah.
We're down the line of groomsmen. So
Yeah.
at some point my dad thought, this isn't the shot. I need to go and get a close-up.
So your dad is behind the line of
There's
groomsmen.
like a row of like 3 or 4 of them. I was in there because I was doing the ring gear.
Okay, yeah. So
I was like 4.
So if someone was looking at this bridal party, you have the bridesmaids
women,
on the left,
4 fellas,
you have 4 fellas on the
a
right,
dude in
and
a
then
suit
your
with a
dad.
camera.
Yeah.
So I still have to find the photos of the wedding because I'm sure there was a photographer who's got this.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how to explain this because it happened so fast. It's like the peak of the wedding. The reason we're all there is the I now pronounce you thing.
Yeah.
And he's standing in the build up to this. They've done their vows at the end of the row of groomsmen. And there's like a tree, and I can just see it, and I can hear the rustling, and he's like leaning into the tree because he can't look down the line. He has to kind of get the shot from the side of all the people in the background, the families staring on.
So he's trying to get a better shot.
Exactly what you would do, what I would do if we were invited to.
Right.
Not taking it upon ourselves during the happiest day of
our
our life.
To be in the bridal party,
So,
filming the bride and groom.
He decides that it's go time. So the officiator or the vicar, I don't know what he was, but he sounds,
the priest.
He looks a little bit like Bill Gates, and he's got like a whiny voice. He's getting to the end of his spiel where he's about to do the climax, and
That sounds so wrong.
It's a happy moment. Just take
Okay.
your mind out of the gutter. He instructs the groom to lift the veil, which is the thing that comes before.
The
and
climax.
my dad knows that this is the shot.
Yeah.
This is his Tarantino moment. He's going to get the shot. So he strides forward into the bush, and he doesn't quite have the shot. The fella says, I now pronounce you. You may now kiss the bride. My dad starts hustling forward and says, just a sec. And the guy says, just a sec. Interrupts the first kiss completely uninvited to get the best possible shot.
And no one ever saw it.
It's so out of character, but also no one remembered.
That's another thing.
And no one knew.
I don't know how no one knows, because your dad literally so clearly stopped.
Behind them.
He's behind the bride and groom. He stopped the first kiss from happening when it was supposed to happen. Like, he's like, wait.
Yes.
The vicar or whatever, the officiator says, what do you mean wait?
He repeats it.
He's like, what do you mean wait? And then nobody remembers this.
So I had thought there
astronomical
was a chance
moment.
This caused a rift, and no one wanted to talk about it.
Right,
because
like family drama.
Fuming, like we're never gonna do this again, and no one remembered.
I cannot believe that.
And
then we showed them, and nobody remembered.
Yeah, I don't know, but there was another part where. In the wedding video, he's sitting at the table, panning around, zooming into all the family that's come over from England, zooming out, zooming into me and Sarah being young and funny because we're just young and in a suit, and all that's funny when it's a 4-year-old in a suit.
Yeah.
And then, while recording, gets up, pans around the room, and walks out of the room while recording. And he walks through the lobby of the reception hall.
Yeah.
And then he walks into the bathroom.
Oh,
still recording.
God.
And he walks up to the urinal. Still recording. And then cut, and he's washing his hands.
No way.
This is in the wedding video.
That is so crazy.
So I don't know how no one has seen
Your dad was a wild one back then.
Absolute comic gold.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That is...
And that is why I'm happy I did this stupid project of 100 hours of VHS tape.
I feel like if somebody did that at my wedding, I'd be like, every time they came over, I'd be like, hey, remember when you stopped my first kiss?
You hold it against them?
Would like, but I wouldn't be mad. I would jokingly hold it against them. Like, if they give you a good gift,
it's the least you could do because you interrupted my first kiss.
Yes, they would be the butt of every joke. Like, it's, I would remember it. I don't know how nobody remembers that.
Shocking.
Anyways, okay. So I helped you with fantasy football.
Yeah.
And last year you were like, I'm in fantasy, and I didn't really understand it. A lot of my friends in high school, like it's not the first time I'm hearing about fantasy football. I've never been invested in it.
In the strategy?
Okay, we got into a mini fight, and then I was like, okay, can I help you with your fantasy football? Because you were all stressed out that you didn't even think football was coming back, and you had to pick a fantasy team in an hour. And I don't even remember what the fight was about now, but I was like, I should help him still.
I'm guessing it was 90% to do with IKEA.
Maybe.
Because that was the first weekend we'd moved in, and I'd spent all this time building crap that we weren't even keeping.
Anyways, I have no idea what it was about. But you were like, yeah, can you look up when I should choose a quarterback in a 2QB PPR fantasy league? And I was like, okay, so I typed in those exact words. I was reading a bunch of articles. I made a list of all the top tier quarterbacks and the ones that you shouldn't spend your money on first, and like all that shit. And then you're like, do you want to, like, should I put it on the TV and we can do, like, watch it together? And I was like, yeah, man, like, I'm excited. I want to be part of this now. So you do the draft, and I'm like right there beside you, like your wing woman, just like pumping you up. Yeah, you should do that. Oh, okay, you're gonna do that. Okay, make sure you choose this guy. It's time to choose another quarterback. You should choose another quarterback. That's what they all said on the articles that I read. So then you choose this team, and I'm like feeling good about your team after you're like, man, my team's okay. Paul's team is better. And I'm like, okay, but we chose 2 quarterbacks. Some guys didn't even get quarterbacks. Like, I'm all invested in this quarterback strategy now. So, and there's a guy in your fantasy league that was chirping you for getting one of the quarterbacks early.
Yeah. I thought it's a good strategy to get 2 top quarterbacks early because there's only so many good ones.
Yeah.
And I picked the Buffalo Bills quarterback, and the chat just blew up. It's like, what's going on? This is a joke.
Yeah. And but that's what I had done the research on, was you should choose a quarterback in the first 2 quarterbacks in the first 4 rounds, or at least 2 quarterbacks before the 6th round.
And I wanted to stock up on running backs, so we both targeted those.
Yeah.
We got top guys in the category.
Yeah.
I was fine with the decision.
Now I want to watch every football game. I hold your phone with the stats in my hand and watch the live updates. I'm like, yes, we got a point. Touchdown, we got 7 points. Oh my God, how many points is that? Why does the quarterback lose points? That's such bullshit. Why is the quarterback... What? This defense, that's bullshit. Why do they start you with points and then lose points? Like, this is such madness. I think I'm addicted to gamifying life.
But it's such a great way to add some kind of fun to something you wouldn't have cared about.
So it's not unhealthy.
I don't think so.
Because I feel like I'm always losing the game. But if I had never gamified everything, then I wouldn't feel like I'm losing so much. I'm not like, it's not like this big metaphorical thing where I'm like, I'm losing the game of life. But like, I feel in little things like I lose the game. Like, oh, I wanted to put out a YouTube video 2 weeks ago. Like, I lost the game. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I still haven't gotten over whatever hurdles in my mind that I feel like there are to do that YouTube video. Like, I feel like, oh, I'm watching Liverpool now, and like I'm so like you can never break up with me because I'm so invested in Liverpool that you'll taint the team for me.
Yeah, you were gonna cry the other week.
I was literally on the verge of tears, you guys. Liverpool was so badly fouled, and he didn't call it a red card at first, and I was like, I'm gonna cry. Like, I'm gonna cry if they don't get if the other team does not get a red card right now. They had to go to VAR. They checked the cameras.
This is amazing.
The guy finally got the red card, and I was like, yes.
Like the terminology you're using, they went to VAR.
Listen, I never thought sports were this fun.
I think, especially now when everything's been wild for the last 6 months, it gives you something to look forward to.
Yeah, and like when there were no sports because of COVID, I didn't care. I'm like, okay, it's just sports, get over it. But now when there's like a 2 days in between any game, football, we even watched basketball, soccer, I'm so bummed. I'm like, oh, there's no sports to watch. It's because I feel like watching a sports game for an hour and a half or 2 hours, or 3 or 4 for football, doesn't for some reason feel like a waste of time.
I think for me, it's the best way to. It doesn't have to be sports. It can be if you're into movies, but it's the best way to completely unplug. Because when I'm so invested in Liverpool, I'm not thinking about my work.
Yeah.
Or
but that's not true for me.
You have to run.
It can't be movies for me because know me.
I'm just saying for someone who's listening who doesn't like sports.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, that's bollocks. I'm not gonna care about it. But like that's my equivalent is this is my thing.
But
so
I didn't think that I would want to watch sports. But because I've gamified it, I don't have money in the game, but I helped you pick the team, so I feel like it's my team as well, and I'm watching these points, right? Like I don't actually have a stake in the game, but like gamifying football is fun for me now, and also I can't watch movies or watch TV shows because I'm still doing work because I'm always like, oh, that's a great shot. Oh, that's a great song. Let me write that down for my video. Oh, I should tell this story or I should tell it this way. Like I'm always learning something. In sports, I'm literally not learning anything.
But I think maybe the thing that sports has that movies doesn't is it's a narrative that's always happening. And I feel like people who get really into it, and all the best, be a part of it now, you attach moments to the games. So you will always remember Tottenham at home when you resurrected in Montreal. Or United at home last year when we were in the LFC bar in New York.
In New York, yeah.
Crossing off a topic.
Yes, I'm crossing off a topic. When I don't speak, you should speak to...
Well, I was at the end of my thought, and I was hoping you were going to bounce back, like the way conversation happens. Like I say something, you say something.
I said, yeah.
I was hoping that was next, and you're like, yeah, that's interesting.
No, I was like, yeah, I agree. Yes, I agree. Okay.
I'm going to talk now because there was a silence there. So
good.
I was just feeling the dead air.
Okay, before we end the podcast, what is the 6 things that you say should be... Like in your life, there are 6 things that should be in harmony.
Oh, I don't know where I got this from, but it's like health and finance, family and friends, like professional career, that kind of thing, and what the hell?
Health, finance, career, family, friends. What's the 6th one? Love and relationships?
I guess.
Is it?
That might be it because like physically fit, that ties into health.
That ties into health.
That sounds like it, yeah.
So, and you were saying that like all of these should be in balance for you to have a good...
Yes.
Like...
Sorry, just... there's an update. Someone just got dropped in fantasy, so we might need to jump on that after the podcast.
Okay.
Keep going. All of these need to be in balance to... Like the ultimate goal... Like they say in university, that
triangle thing.
But like to me, that's...
Basically in university, they say you can't have a social life, you can't have good grades and sleep all at the same time. Right. You can only choose 2 and you have to sacrifice them. One or the other.
I think this might have come from when I was in high school. At one point I was in that international baccalaureate program, and that was their thing, was like, oh, we help people balance these 6 pillars of life, and it was bollocks because they didn't, but that's probably where I'm getting it from, is there's like those 6 main categories where you want to, like, how I measure when everything is sound is if you are just going full force in all 6 directions,
right? Or
if you couldn't really drastically improve all 6 directions.
Talk louder.
Okay. I thought I was leaning in.
Look at your bars here.
Text in if I'm too quiet.
Text in. We need a text number so people can actually text us.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so where do you think you're at in all those categories right now? Bloody hell. This is a question for you guys, the listeners, as well. So health, finance, family, friends, career, love. Where do you rank, like, out of 5, how is each category in your life right now?
I feel like there's something not there, though. Like just the idea of like experience or something, like personal experience, like travel.
You're saying one of the categories is wrong?
Yeah, like I don't know, we can change this if we want. We can do that right here. We have the authority.
Yeah.
But like you could combine love with family.
I know, I feel like you can combine family and friends. Love is a separate category. It's like family.
I feel like we just add a seventh for experience. Because like things like going and having certain experiences.
Okay, how about we research this a little bit more,
list.
Then come back to the
Let's
podcast
just make it our own.
next
we
week.
can write a book. I'm not adding another book to your list, for the love of God.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. Let's talk about this next podcast because I don't want to rush the answers. I think I really actually need to think about it. But for something for you guys to think about right now, in those categories that we just mentioned, where do you think you're at? Like, is health really good right now, but like love and relationships is not that great?
I can answer mine.
And hold on, love and relationships doesn't mean you have to be in a relationship. If you're happy, single, doing your thing, then your love and relationships are fantastic. Go.
I think mine was entirely tied to like timeline, so it was contextualized by how old I was.
Yeah.
So I think
that age restriction
at
it'll get you.
End of last year.
Yeah.
I felt everything was where it needed to be, and then because of all of the like coronavirus related setbacks this year that may last for 2 years, I think everything sort of just contracted in a little bit on a bunch of different spectrums because I was sort of like projecting. Hey, 2 sports things: projections and age, because I'm in my head like I'm almost past my prime. Like, I wouldn't want Liverpool to sign someone my age.
They just signed Thiago, who's 29.
I know, but the difference is he's done it all and been there.
Thiago Alcantara.
He's done it all and been there. I am past the point of potential. I need to be delivering now.
Okay, you and I both need to stop putting these age restrictions on our successes, because that's why we are so our cups are both empty. And you know, in a relationship, it's supposed to be one person gives 20% of the love and the other person fills that 80%.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be back and forth. Right now, we're both at 5%. We are low battery and we have nobody to charge us up. So we need to come together, get our 10% and get charged, baby.
It's just because I think 27 is older than it actually is, because right now Liverpool need 24-year-olds.
As long as we're making moves and planting seeds for a future that will bring us that, I'm starting to be okay with my age. Especially because writers,
I'm okay with my
authors have successful books and they're much older usually.
I don't feel old.
So I'm okay.
All I'm saying is I was just full course on all of those 6 cylinders.
Yeah, you were doing really well.
And then it just feels like a couple of them contextualized by, if I have to be on pause for the next 2 years, I'm projecting.
How's your love category?
My love category?
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.
Excuse me? Where's the hesitation for? Okay, dead air. All right. We will be in your ears next week.
Wait, we didn't even have another question. Is that the question?
The question was that, Eric.
That's not a fun question. It's supposed to be a fun question.
Okay.
Like, what's the best way to serve a potato? Mashed, fried, boiled? Like,
okay, there's your question. What's
deep,
the best way to serve
how's your love life? What kind of ending question is that?
It wasn't how's your love.
That's how you start the thing.
It wasn't how's your love life. It wasn't how's your love life. It was rank your 6 categories of your life.
Muzzle. You wanted me to end the pod. That's why there was dead air for a second. Is because I'm like, how can I answer this in 3 words or less so that we can just wrap the thing up for the week?
No.
It would be easier if I can say fried potato is the best, Evie. give me a question where there's a correct answer, not a
What's better, green olives, black olives, or Kalamata olives?
To be honest, it's green, but the real answer is anything without a pit.
Oh, okay. So
when you have a pitted...
So green olives.
Well, no, because I'm coming around to the black ones.
But Greek olives are the best. We don't have black olives.
As long as...
What do you mean you're coming around to the black? Kalamata olives are different from black olives. Don't you know this?
You just learned this. Pack it in.
Bye! Bye!